Good morning and welcome. Welcome to our live streaming. The sun is shining and we are all here, and it is lovely to be here with you. So give me a little wave. If you've got a little emoji there, you can show me an emoji. I'm quite happy to have emojis, so you just show me. And let me see. I think it's a good start. We've frozen already. Come on, come on, come on. I know you can still hear me, but you don't think you can see me. Okay, I've got a nice little thumbs up there coming through on the moderation. Let's have a look. I'm going to go out and come back in and see if that helps, because you cannot see me. I am working on it. I promise you as we speak. I'm working on it. I'm back. Yay! I'm so sorry about that. Decided it didn't want to let me see, but you've still carried on working because I can see the answers coming in and I can see some nice little emoji hellos. So thank you very much for that. Let's have a little look what we've got up there today then. So the sun is shining. I can feel the warmth coming through the window. We are here together. Some people have gone back to school. Some schools have taken in year 1 reception and year 6. Some have taken in different year groups. So I know that some of my learners have messaged and said, oh, we can't join the lesson because we're back at school. Well, that's brilliant. It's really brilliant that you're back at school. And I don't want anybody to worry about missing them, because if you can't catch them live, you can always watch them on YouTube later. So let's look at our brain teaser. So Mary, what's Mary up to? Mary's making toys. And on Monday, she makes 7. She makes 7 on Monday. And on Tuesday, she makes 8. So that's 7 and 8 she's made. By Wednesday, she has to get to 20. So she has to get to 20. Right, let's just move this screen to get us on. Although this platform is much better than when we were on YouTube Live, it doesn't allow me to do a preview of getting my screen interview. So there we are. So by Wednesday, she has to make 20. So how many more does she have to make? So we have got to work out what goes in there. So let's do this first. 7 and 8. Well, 2 8s are 16, aren't they? So 7 and 8 is 1 less, 15. 15 plus what? Equals 20. Or you can swap it around and say 20, take away 15, equals what? Whichever way is easier for you to work it out. Now, if you know your 5 times table, you're going to look at that and very, very quickly say, well, 15, 20, another 5. And lots of you have done that. So she needs to make, come on, Mary, get busy. Because on Wednesday, you need to make 5 more toys. You need to make 5 more toys. So give yourself a pat on the back, those people who said 5. So let's have a look at Tom. What is Tom up to? Just wipe away all of Mary's hard work and let's see what Tom is up to. So Tom has £20. So when we're looking at these word problems, we really need to make sure that we make a note of the key information, what's really important for us to know. So Tom has £20. And we also need to know that melons are £2 each. Okay, so the melons are £2 each. That's also essential information. So that's what we know at the start. Tom has £20 and melons cost £2. He buys 7 of them. 7 melons. So 7 lots of 2. 7 times 2 equals. Well, if you don't know your 7 times table like that, and it's quite helpful for you to do that, you can just count. Okay, you can just count. Let's just count 7 in twos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to go up to there. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 14. Okay, so 7 melons cost £14. Because 7 times £2. So how much money does he have left? So we've done a times to get there. Now we need to do a takeaway. So remember, he had £20 and he has spent £14. He had £20 and he has spent £14. Well, we can do that on a number line. There's 14. There's 20. How many more jumps do we need to get to 20? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I didn't fill all the numbers in, but you can. 18, 19. So we did 6 jumps to get to 20. So the difference between 20 and 14 is 6. So he has £6 left. He has £6 left. He could buy 3 more melons if he wants, or he could just keep his money and think 7 melons is enough. I hope he's got lots of family and friends to share all of those melons with. And the last one, so well done for those of you who got £6. Just make sure, okay, those of you who didn't quite get the answer, just make sure that you are looking at the essential information. £20, £2 each. He bought 7, so 7 twos are 14. Then you're looking at the difference between 14 and 20, which is 6. Okay. Circle 3 numbers that sum to 12. Oh, okay, we've got some people already giving their answers. Circle 3 numbers that sum to 12. Now remember, sum is another word for add, like total. 3 numbers that sum to 12. So 6, 5, and 1. Yeah, 2 6s are 12, aren't they? So you could say, well, it's 6, and I'm going to make another 6 here. Is there another way, or is it only one way? Circle 3 numbers that sum to 12. Let's have a look. Oh, no, I can see another way. Anybody else got the other way? I've just seen another way. I've just seen another 3 numbers that circle to 12. So 6, 5, and 1 is one way. Let's just take the circles off there and see if anybody can see another way. 6, 5, and 1 is one way. So I'll write that down here. 6, 5, 1. So 6, 5, and 1 equals 12. There's another way as well. Oh, hello. Hello. Good morning. Sorry that you had technical issues. We're just looking at this brain teaser and we're just on question 3. Circle 3 numbers that make 12. Ah, ha, ha. Somebody has found the other way as well. Yes, I saw that one too. I saw 6 and 4 makes 10. And then I added 2 to that to make 12. Now, is there another way? I don't think there are big enough. Oh. No, we need another one there. Anybody see another one? 5, 4, and 3. 5 and 4. That's what I was looking at, if there was an 11 or a 9. And 3 equals 12. So making 9 and the 3. Anybody spot another one? Anybody spot another one? Ah, I've got another one. I've got another one. I've got another one. I've got another one. Anybody see another one? I made 11 and I added one more. Ah, we can't use the numbers twice. Can only use the numbers once. Good try, 5 and 5 and 2, but we can only use the digits once. Circle 3 numbers that sum to 12. I found a way of making 11 and one more. Anybody see that one? Anybody see that one? Make 11 and one more. So we could do 6 and 5 is 11 plus 1 equals 12. Oh, we did that one at the start. Oh, I did that one at the start. I thought I found another one. But no. We made 11. We can't do 10 plus 2. We've done 9 plus 3. 8 plus 4. No, that's double 4. 7 plus 5. Ooh, be systematic. 4 and 3 is 7. Have we got that? Oh, we got that one down there. I think we are there. 4, 3, and 5. Yeah, got that one. I think we are there. Well, that was good. We've done 3 different ways. Well done. Okay, so welcome. We've got some more people who've joined us with a few little technical issues. Let's close that down. So, hey, and hello. Now, I spoke to you last week about something quite exciting, about our new app that has come out. I've been talking for a long time saying that we have been very, very busy at Bright Idea Education working on a new app, and our new app is now out. It is already available on iOS. It's already available on Apple. So if you have an iPhone or an iPad, you can go to the App Store and you can see this logo, Cosmico, and you can download the app. If you are on Android, I'm on Android, we are just waiting for Google's approval, and we're expecting that any minute, and it will also be available on Google. Now, the app has games on there and challenges on there for years 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 different levels. And the app changes to support you more, challenge you more, depending on how you progress through the missions and the mini adventures. So it's free. So please have a look, download it, play it. If your grown-ups allow you, because you have to ask them, if your grown-ups allow you, please do ask them if you can send in some comments about what you think about the game, or if they can video you playing the game, or video you giving comments of what you think about the game, to send them in to us. Just send them via the email that your parents are using to log on to the lessons. That would be brilliant. Now, has anybody downloaded the app? Anybody know what the relevance of me showing you this is? Has anybody downloaded the app? Has anybody actually had a look at it yet and downloaded it? This is the symbol. I don't want you to do it now because we're in lesson. But if you do, then I want you to tell me why I'm showing you this purple dragon. Why I'm showing you purple dragon. Okay? So have a look at the app after the lesson and let us know what you think about it. And we're already working on making some of the games that are in there better. We'll use any feedback you have to improve the game. And it's on your list of things to do. Fantastic. Yay, it's fun. Okay, that's brilliant. Now remember, if you can send us some comments in, and if your grown-ups, if your parents or carers will allow you to be videoed, remember, do not say your name or where you're from. That would be fantastic to send those comments in to us. Amazing. So that's our app, and we'd be very interested in hearing what you think about that. Let's go widescreen. So we are going to look at fractions. We're going to do some money work. But we're going to start off by looking at equivalence. Okay, we're going to start off by looking at equivalence. So I'm going to write something on the board. Can you tell me something about these 2 fractions? If I put those 2 fractions up, what can you tell me about those 2 fractions? What can you tell me about those 2 fractions? What can you tell me? What can you tell me? When you look at those 2 fractions, what can you tell me? The same. They don't. That says 2, that says 1, that says 4, that says half. How can they be the same? What do you mean? How can they be the same? Because that's a half and that's 2 quarters. So they're not written the same. So what do you mean? How can they be the same? Tell me about that. What do you mean? I need a little bit more information. How are they the same? How are they the same? Yeah, they are the same, but how are they the same? Okay, let's have a little bit of work around what we call equivalence. Equivalence is a very posh word for the same, okay? And we can do lots of work on equivalence in fractions because there are lots of fractions that actually are the same as a half. And it just means if you ask for 2 quarters of a cake, you would get the same size cake as if you asked for a half. So, and there's lots of other fractions that come in like that as well. So let's just have a look at this little chart. Okay. And I'm going to see if I can drop it down because it's a little bit easier to see if I drop it down. Okay, let's just have a little look at this chart. Rex is helping me hold on to that. Okay, there. So we have got here a quarter. So what is this fraction showing? What is this one showing? Let's have a look. What is this one showing? What fraction? How much of the cake is this? How much of the cake is that one? I'll rest it on Rex's nose for a moment. How much of the cake is this one? What fraction of the cake is this one? Okay, that one is 1/2. What about this one? Okay, that one's horizontal, this is vertical. What fraction of the cake is this one? No, that's also 1/2. It doesn't matter which way you cut it, it's still 1/2. So we've got 1/4, we can see. We can say 1/2, cut in two different ways. There's 1/4. There's a half, there's a half. Doesn't matter which way you slice it. Might have been sliced and then the plate might have been turned around. What's this one then? What's this one? What's this one here? This little dinky one here. Looks like it's half the size of a quarter. So quarter cut in half the size of a quarter. Yeah, we got the answers coming in. It is 1/8. And that means that you could get 8 of those pieces out of that whole cake. So 8/8 is 1 whole. 8/8 is 1 whole. Okay, how about this one? What's this one here? What's this one here? What's this one here? That's 1, isn't it? That's the whole thing. A full 1. We just write it as 1. We can say 1 whole, but that's just 1. That's just the number 1. And sometimes we overcomplicate that and think, oh, 8/8, oh, what's that? That's the whole thing. The whole bajanga. Okay, that's 1. What about this last one here then? What's this one? What's this fraction? What's this fraction? What's that fraction down the bottom? Bottom left. What's that one? What's that cake showing? Yeah, so at the top we had 1/4. There's 1/4. And here it's more than a half. It's got 1/4 missing. So if 1/4 is missing, then 3/4 are there. Then 3/4 are there. So if 1/4 is missing, then 3/4 are there. Okay. So we have got 1/4. Then we've got 1/2. We have got 1/8. We've got half, exactly the same as the half up here, just rotated. 1/8, that's a half of a quarter. So you get 4/4 to make the whole. So you get 8/8 to make the whole. There's the whole cake. Yummy, yummy, yum. And there's 3/4 of the cake. And there's 3/4 of the cake. So let's think a little bit about equivalence then. Now that we've seen those fractions, let's just put this out of the way. We finished with that now. Now that we have seen those fractions, let's have a think about what you would rather have. Okay, let's drop them down, Rexy. Would you rather? Now, if you don't like cake, you have to pretend that you like cake, okay? If you don't like cake, you have to pretend you like cake. So in this question, you want to have the biggest fraction. In this question, you want to have the biggest fraction, okay? Rexy's having a little look there. So would you rather have a quarter or a half? So imagine it is something that you like, a cake that you like, okay? So we're asking which is the bigger fraction? A quarter or a half? Which is the bigger fraction? What would you rather have, a quarter or a half? Are you still frozen there? You can't see me, can you? Oh, we're back. Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? Yay, are we back? Yep. So what would you rather have, a quarter or a half? So we're thinking, what is the bigger fraction? What is the bigger fraction? So you want the most cake. So would you rather have a quarter or a half? Okay. So for this activity, we're not thinking healthy. We're thinking we want the biggest piece of cake. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Because if you have a half of the cake is bigger than a quarter. So a half is bigger than a quarter. So when we write our greater than signs, we would say 1/2 is bigger than 1/4. We would say 1/2 is bigger than 1/4. And that's another thing that can cause confusion. Sometimes when we are asked which is the bigger fraction, we look at the numbers at the bottom and we say, oh, 4 is bigger than 2, so a quarter is the bigger fraction. But we are not dealing with whole numbers. We are not dealing with whole numbers. We are dealing with fractions of the number. So remember, if something's cut in 2 pieces, those pieces are going to be bigger than if something is cut into 4 pieces. Okay? And if something is cut into 4 pieces. So 1/2 is a bigger fraction than 1/4. Let's have a look what else we've got. Would you rather, a new would you rather now. Oh, let's have a look. Would you rather have 2/4 or a half? Would you rather have 2/4 or 1/2? 2/4 or 1/2? What would you rather have, 2/4 or 1/2? 2/4 or 1/2? 2/4 or 1/2? Which would you rather? People are saying 1/2. Maybe that's because you like your cake all in one piece and not in 2 pieces. Well, there's a half of a nice strawberry cake, and there's 2/4 of a nice strawberry cake. And what do you notice? Exactly, they are both the same. Okay, exactly, they are both the same. 2/4 is equivalent to 1/2. I can even show you by putting them on top. 2/4 is equivalent to 1/2. So what sign would I need to put in between them? What sign would need to go into here? What sign would need to go into there? We would need to use an equal sign, because 2/4 is the same as 1/2. 2/4 is the same as 1/2. So let's have a look at another would you rather. So would you rather have 1/4 or 3/4? Would you rather have 1/4 or 3/4? 1/4 or 3/4? One quarter or 3/4? 3/4 is 3 times as much, isn't it? There's 1/4. With 3/4, you get 3 of those. So what sign do I need to put in here? Which is the bigger fraction? So 1/4 is bigger, equals, or less than 3/4. What sign do I need to put in between those two fractions? Yeah, 3/4 is the bigger one, isn't it? So 1/4 is less than 3/4. 1/4 is less than 3/4. Okay, let's have a look. What have we got now? Would you rather have, let's have a look. Would you rather have, here they are. Would you rather have 1/2 or 3/4? 1/2 or 3/4? 1/2 or 3/4? Let me get those out. 1/2 or 3/4? Okay. So which is the bigger fraction, 1/2 or 3/4? Let's have a look at them. There's 1/2. There's 3/4. 3/4 is the bigger fraction, isn't it? 2/4 is the same as a half, so 3/4 is bigger than a half. And we can see that in our cake. So what sign do we need here? They're not equals. You're not bigger than that. You're smaller than that. So we put a less than sign in. We put a less than sign in. Okay, would you rather? Would you rather? We've got 3 more of these to do, and then we're going to do a quiz. And then we're going to do a quiz. So let's take these away. Would you rather have 1 or 2 halves? Would you rather have 1 or 2 halves? Would you rather have 1 or 2 halves? What would you rather have, 1 or 2 halves? Well, they are the same, aren't they? So if you're saying 1, we need to know, is it because you don't want your cake cut up? But 2 halves is the same as 1, isn't it? They're exactly the same. They are equivalent. 2 halves makes 1 whole. 2 halves makes 1 whole. Look, exactly the same. Exactly the same. So when we are going to write those fractions together and we say 1 and 2 halves, what sign do we need to put in there? Yeah, either. They're the same. Exactly. So we write 1 equals 2 halves. They are exactly the same. They are exactly the same. Okay, they are exactly the same. So let's have a little look at another one to get us really, really familiar with these. Oh, look at this tricky one. Would you rather have 4/4 or 2 halves? Would you rather have 4/4 or 2 halves? Would you rather have 4/4 or 2 halves? What would you rather? Would you rather have 4/4 or 2 halves? Oh, we're really getting this now, aren't we? Let's have a little look. There's 2 halves. And there are 4/4. Let's put them down. And what do we see? That they both make up a whole. 4/4 is the whole thing. The cake is cut into 4 equal pieces and you have all 4 of them. The cake is cut into 2 equal pieces and you have both of them. They're both equal to the whole thing. So the sign we need in here is 4/4 equals 2 halves. They are the same. They are the same. Okay, would you rather? Would you rather? Would you rather? Which would you rather? Which would you rather? Which is the bigger fraction? 1 is not a fraction. What would you rather? Let's have a look at them. There's 1. There's 3/4. A little sneaky beaky's already been here and had a quarter of the cake. So if I said, oh, here's your cake. Or if I said, oh, here's your cake. So can I have one that's not been eaten, please? Because 1 whole one is more than 3/4, which is less than a whole one. Yeah, 3/4 is less than a whole one. It's a quarter less than a whole one. Okay, last one before we do a quiz and we see how much of this you can apply. Would you rather? Would you rather? What would you rather? 1/4 or 1? What would you rather? 1/4 or 1? 1/4 or 1? What would you rather? 1/4 or 1? Well, let's have a little look. There's your cake. You can have that one. And I will have that one. Oh, hang on. Hang on, hang on, hang on. I can hear somebody come in. Who is that coming? Ooh, it's the fraction, please. Sorry, officer. Oh, you've got a question. You want to know, is this fair? Who is being given a quarter cake and who's been given the whole cake? Oh, I can explain to you, officer. We're not actually going to give those cakes out. We're just trying to make sure that the children know which one is more and which one is less. Oh, you'd like to stay to make sure that they know. Okay, want a little close look. Just having a little look, having a little look, having a little look. Okay, so the police officer is going to sit in the police van and going to just watch. So 1 is more than 1/4, so we need the less than sign. We need the less than sign. What's our officer? Oh, now that we know it's less, you're happy to drive on. Woo, 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 woo. Off the officer goes. Right, okay, marvellous. So now that we have done that work on, oh, let's have a look. There we are. Hello. Now that we have done that work on equivalence, we're going to do a quiz. Okay, so let's go to our quiz. Let me find the right quiz that I want you to do. Here we go. Year 1 and 2, equivalence. So off you go. Off you go with the equivalence. Off you go with equivalence. Looking at those questions and seeing if you can answer those questions. I'm just trying to see if I can get a little bit more light down here, because although it is nice and sunny, it's become quite overcast and it has become a little bit dark in here. So while you are doing that, I'm just going to put this light in. Let's see if we can just get a little bit more light going on here. Okay. Okay, just get a little bit more light shining around here. That's it. Okay. There. So let's have a look at that quiz. Yeah, aren't being asked about equivalence. I'll just tidy up here while you're doing that. You're being asked about equivalence. How many halves make a whole? Which fraction is bigger than a half? Which one is equal to a half? Okay, remember, you might have to just slot me over on the top so that you can find the thin grey line to okay, how are we doing? How are we doing? Let's have a little look. Oh, well done. You've all got that first question correct. Brilliant. Everybody's got the first one correct. Oh, and so far everybody's got the second one correct as well. And the third one doing really, really well. Ooh, exciting, 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 exciting. Okay. So how many halves make a whole one? We know 2 halves make a whole, don't they? 2 halves make a whole. The second one asked you Which fraction is bigger than a half? 3/4, 1/4, or 2/4? Well, 2/4 is the same as a half. 1/4 is smaller. 3/4 is bigger. Which fraction is the same as 1/2? Well, not 3/4 because that's bigger, not 1/4 because that's smaller, but 2/4 is. So let's end the voting so that you can see how well you did. And according, because I don't get to see who's got things wrong or who's got things right, but I get to see the overall score. And I can see from the overall score that everybody who did the quiz got all 3 questions correct. So you should have a nice 100%, 200% circles saying that you did all the questions and that you got them all right. You got a point for every question. Hey. Hey, hey, hey. Very well done. Okay, so the other thing that we're going to look at today, yay, give yourself a round of applause. Woo, woo. Okay, so the other thing that we are going to look at today is we are going to look at money, 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 money. Oh, where are my friends? Where are my friends? Have they come over today? We're going to have costumed friends today? No, I think we will have play friends today. Let's have a look at my play friends. Oh, will you come? Okay, play friends, over you come. Here you are. Okay, here are my play friends. They are coming over. There they are. Let's drop down and have a look at them. Yeah, it's a little bit better. I've got some light in there. It's a little bit better. So here are my play friends. Okay. So we are sharing things between 4. So we are looking at quarters. Okay. So we've got 8 pence. 8 pence. Now, if you are finding this lesson easy, remember this lesson is aimed at year 1 and year 2. So it's really to make sure that year 1 and year 2 have got a clear grasp on quarters, okay? So stay on for the next lesson. If this is really easy peasy for you, stay on for the next lesson, and then you will have a little bit more challenge, okay? So let's have a little look in here. So we have got 4 friends, and we have got 8 pence. So how much will they get each? What is 1/4 of 8? What is 1/4 of 8 pence? What is 1/4 of 8 pence? Okay, so 1/4 of 8 pence equals what? 1/4 of 8 pence equals, okay, well, we know 4 2s are 8. So 1/4 of 8 pence is 2 pence. Okay, so if I have 8 pence and I have to share them into 4 equal groups, we will get 2 pence each. Okay, so having seen that there, now answer this question for me. What is 2/4 of 8 pence? If you were asked to answer a question, what is 2/4 of 8 pence? What's 2/4 of 8 pence? What is 2/4 of 8 pence? We can clearly see that 1/4 is 2 pence, so 2/4 is 4 pence. We also know that 2/4 is the same as a half. So we could say, well, I know what half of 8 is. It's 4. Okay, 4 pence. So now that we know that, if we were asked a question of what is 3/4 of 8 pence, what is 3/4 of 8 pence? What is 3/4 of 8 pence? What is 3/4 of 8 pence? So we can think, well, 1/4 is 2, so 2/4 are 4, so 3/4 are 6. Okay. So when we are asked to find more than 1, so not a unit fraction, not 1/4 or 2/4, we have to find the unit fraction first, and then we can double or triple up. So if we were asked straight away to find 3/4 of 8, we say, well, what is 1/4? And then multiply that by 3. Okay. So let's have a look now. Let's introduce some more pennies. So 2 more, 4 more. So I'm going to go straight into asking you now what 2/4 of 12 pence is. What is 2/4 of 12 pence? What is 2/4 of 12 pence? Let's see if you can use the maths you know already. Okay. 2/4 of 12 pence. Now we know that 2/4 equals 1/2. So we could think, well, I know what half of 12 is. Let's just check. So 12 into 3 groups. 4 watts are 12. Yeah, I think I know that. If I didn't know it, I could think what's half of 12, and then I could half it again. Well, half of 12 is 6, and half of 6 is 3. If I didn't know what 4 watts make 12, it's just like a half. I could half, and then I could half again. So using what we know already, how would we answer this question? What is 3/4 of 12 pence? How much is 3/4 of 12 pence? Okay, we know that 1/4 of 12 pence is 3 pence. What is 3/4 of 12 pence? What is 3/4 of 12 pence? We know that 1/4 is 3, so we can multiply 3 by 3, it's 9. Okay. So these 3 people, these 3 friends, have 3/4 of the money between them. And this little friend has 1/4 of the money. Okay. This little friend has 1/4 of the money. Okay, let's introduce. Ooh, lost some pennies. Okay, so now we're going to go up to 14, 16. 16 pennies. 16 pennies. 16 pennies. What is a half of 16? What is a half of 16? What is a half of 16 pence? Half of 16 is 8, so therefore use that to tell me what is 1/4 of 16. What is 1/4 of 16p? If we know half of 16p is 8, what is 1/4 of 16p? We can use the half to help us find 1/4, because we can then just half it again. Half of 16 is 8, and half of 8 is 4. Let's just double check. 4 for you, 4 for you, 4 for you, and 4 for you. There we are. 4 fours are 16. 1/4 of 16 is 4. So now that we know that, what is 3/4 of 16? What is 3/4 of 16? 1/4 is 4. What is 3/4 of 16? What is 3/4 of 16? No, not 2. Look again. Okay, look again. 16 into 4 groups. 16 into 8 groups would be 2 each. If you shared 16 between 8 people, they would get 2 each. But 16 between 4 people, they get 4 each. So 1/4 is 4. 2/4 is 8. 3/4 is 12. 3/4 of 16 is 12. Okay. So let us now use that. You know what's coming next. Let us use that knowledge that we have just practiced to do a quiz. Okay, another quiz. Just to finish off, another quiz, and then we will be finished for today. You worked very, very hard today. Really impressed. Really impressed. So let's just do this money quiz. Okay, let's just do this money quiz and see how we get along with the money quiz. Okay, well, here we go. Quick, quick, quick. Oh, you're off the mark. Quick, quick, quick. Quick, 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 quick. Quick, quick, quick. That's it. Well done. So half of 10p. Everybody who's voted has got that correct. Well done. A quarter of 12p. Oh, I'm so pleased to see that, because sometimes people get confused between a quarter and a third of 12. Exactly. £3 is a quarter of 12, because 4 3s are 12. Oh, ooh, now the last one has got you a little bit confused. 3/4 of 8. Okay, somebody's gone for the wrong answer there. 3/4 of 8. What's 1/4 of 8? Okay, if there were 8 sweeties or 8 pennies between 4 people, they would get 2 pennies each. That's 1/4 is 2. So 3/4, 2, 4, 6. Okay. Let's end the voting and share results. And most of you would have got 100%. That last question has tricked a few people. So I'm just going to go over that last one. I'm going to put 8 pennies down here again. Okay, let's just look at that last question, okay? Look at that last question. I'd frozen again then. Let's just look at that last question, which asked us to find 3/4 of 8. The last question asked you to find 3/4 of 8. Now, many of you got this correct. Some people didn't, so I just want to go over this. So there's 8 pennies. There's 4 people. So 1/4 is 2. 1/4 is 2. If there are 8 pennies and 4 people, they get 2 pennies each. They get 2 pennies each. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. 4 people, 8 pennies, 2 pennies each. So 1/4 is 2. 2/4 are 4. 3/4 are 6. So 3/4 of 8p is 6p. 4/4 is 8. So there's 3/4, there's 1/4. 3/4 is 6 pence. Okay, so there's just a few of you who did not get that last question, but well done. So fantastic, excellent job, excellent, excellent, excellent. We have finished for today. I'm going to leave you with this logo on, because next time when we come back together, I want you to tell me why I keep showing you this purple dragon. Okay, have a great time. Download the app. It's going to come out on Google this week, hopefully. So you'll be able to, all the Android users will be able to download it as well. Well done. You've worked really hard today. It's been lovely spending that time with you. I will see you next week, where we are going to really apply some of this knowledge and do some fraction problem solving, okay, around money and around cake and sweeties and all sorts of things. So I look forward to seeing you next week. Really, really good. Really, really good. Thank you for joining us. Great class. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye.